Please tell me this man has played Phantom. Exactly.
This is a very small example of that symphonic metal type sound I'm talking about.
That sneaky fucker. Sorry.
Simone Simmons is the lead singer of another symphonic metal band called Ep2, which is some other band we'll be checking out here. But she and Khan performed a song called The Haunting, which is from the album called The Black Halo. And yes, this is a concept album. I forget the full story of this in this video. Well, we'll get into it, and then we'll see if I can explain a little bit more about the song. But we will continue now with the Kamelot as we go into The Haunting.
The sound of your voice made me believe that you were her. Just like the river disturbs my inner peace. Once I believed I could find just a trace of her beloved soul. Once I believed it was all that she smothered my beliefs. One cold winter's night, I may follow her voice to the river.
I'll pause there before we get to the the introduction of Simone into the music now. The story of the album, jeez, it's been so long since I've listened to it, so I apologize. I don't really remember all the details. However, basically, Simone is, in his mind, he can't tell if it's really his love that he lost or if it's just an imaginary apparition. And he's trying to come to terms with, are you real? Are you really with me? Or is this just a memory that I'm bringing back to myself?
Okay.
So it's a lost love scenario. You know, he's guilt-ridden over her loss, and she's trying to show him that I am real, but he just cannot come to, you know, the full-on realization that it is.
Yeah, because you can see that a little bit with the visualizations of the blurriness in the background of all the things that are around him, but you can also hear it a little bit with some of the reverb and things that he's done in the in post-production, maybe.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's back into it.
Voice to the river, leave me for now and forever. Leave what you can. Somewhere in time I will find you and haunt you again. Like the winds with the air. Somewhere in time when no virtues are left to defend. You've fallen deep. I was a liar in every debate. I rule the forces that fueled your hate. When the cold in my heart leaves, it comes to an end. And quietly I'll go to sleep. How could that first time recur when memories linger on and on? What made me think you were her? Helena is dead to all, dead to all. Nothing can bring her to life. Don't pretend that I've been loving you. Once I believed she was gone,
Ooh, that was a good one.
from within.
Get the feeling just with the sound of her voice, the sound quality of her voice that she's using. The fact that she is in the background is all due to mixing. They purposefully mixed her lower because I imagine if they were standing next to each other in a room, okay, she's belting those notes. So her volume would naturally be higher, but because it has that punchy sound that a belt in a musical does, but it is, I think, based on the storyline, I think they pulled her back. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm right, but
nope. And there is a line coming up in the song where it's a back and forth that they do here a little bit, and it's like Simone is able to mimic a violin.
Oh, wow.
Glide is so amazing. She is a trained soprano opera singer, so
You can tell.
that.
Even from this little bit that the clarity and the vibrato is so smooth. Just from the little bit that you get.
Yep. Back into it. Let's back up here a little bit and we'll get back into it.
From within, leave me for now and forever. Leave what you can. Somewhere in time I will find you and haunt you again. Like the winds with the earth. Somewhere in time when no virtues are left to defend. You've fallen deep. I was a liar in every debate. I rule the forces that fueled your hate. When the cold in my heart leaves, it comes to an end. And quietly I'll go to sleep into the light. Leave me tonight. I've gone too far to begin all anew with someone like you.
Pause real quick here.
Okay.
That you were, I heard what you were talking about. Her mimicking the whole violin slide there, but that was where you could really tell that she was trained in an operatic style, because you heard the warmth and the depth and the up here in the nose tone of her singing. Very different from what she did before, but very indicative of operatic style. And it blows my mind how well things like opera, as sung as is, okay, meld so well with rock and metal. It, as an example, the one I showed you with Freddie Mercury and Montserrat Caballé.
Yes.
They shouldn't go together, but they do.
It just works. That's the magic of music. It just has this capability of connecting lines and sounds and all these different textures together into something that can sound horrible, but it can also sound absolutely majestic.
Right.
Back it up a little bit here. And
Somewhere in time I will find you and love you again. Like the winds with the earth. Somewhere in time when no vultures are left to defend. You've fallen deep. I was a liar in every debate. I rule the forces that fueled your hate. When the cold in my heart leaves, it comes to an end. Quietly I'll go to sleep.
The classic fade out.
there you have it.
That was really cool. There was a I was trying to think of for a little while what it was trying to what it was reminding me of. There's a musical that was kind of panned as cheesy and overly 90s at one point called Jekyll and Hyde. And it had some really cool, very, very Andrew Lloyd Webber-esque, but not Andrew Lloyd Webber type songs in that. And that's what that reminded me of, especially when it first started.
As a matter
and I've been trying to think of it.
I know for a fact that Sebastian Bach of Skid Row performed in Jekyll and Hyde. He was the lead. So there you have it. 2 from Kamelot, a double shot. Of these 2, do you have one that you preferred?
I think The Haunting is my favorite. Mm-hmm. Because it has a lot of elements, again, the things that I'm used to, but it is still very much, it is still a very metal thing. I mean, it is still has all of the things that you would love, the extreme guitar solos and the drums and the, you know, but I think that one is my favorite, not just because it has a killer female operatic voice. I mean, I might be a little biased.
With what we looked at last time on the first episode of You Gotta Hear This, which you better check out by now, folks. There'll be a whole playlist of it here on the channel. When we looked at from now on, from The Greatest Showman, dynamics. We're starting out low, then we build and we build and we build, and then we kind of bring it back down a little bit there because there's more of the story to tell. We saw the same thing demonstrated in both these songs. You know, it starts out low, and then we build and we bring it back down with a little bridge part in there that kind of settles things a little bit. Then we bring it all back at the end, the big bombastic finish there. So all those aspects and elements, all these crossovers between these 2 different types of music, they're all there. They're all just part of the same family, and that it deserves to be recognized. And music like this, I don't think it's overly heavy. I don't think it's overly, crunchy and grindy and stuff like that. It's stuff that people can get into. So
sure, I think this, especially when you have ADHD and some other weird things when you're trying to sleep. Oddly, I'm not the person who likes to have soft, gentle music or soundscapes to put him to sleep. I want something that is so hardcore that it is going to exhaust my brain enough to sleep.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second. I'll get it.
The Haunting.
I wanted to get that scream in there. I just had to do that.
I said heavy and loud, not jump scares.
I had to do it.
Can you imagine me laying there with my headphones in, about to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden, oh God, this is the relationship. You see what I got to put up with here?
Exactly. This is the joy I bring to her life, ladies and gentlemen. The links to these songs will be down in the description, as is the link to Panda's YouTube channel. I've got you covered. Like them, comment on them, subscribe, please. Help get her numbers up there. Let the algorithm know about her so she can put out more great stuff for you guys. Do the same thing here. Like, comment, subscribe, do that cool stuff. Check out the information about me down in the description. We thank you very much for stopping by, my friends. Keep those horns high. Never stop playing.
Silver-tongued devil, bring the pain. Wicked words, shouting insane. Twisted path, hearts he rends. No salvation, no man.